Data has fastly become the cornerstone of the internet in recent years. Without it, you wouldn't have things like YouTube, Netflix, or those pesky websites that ask you to accept their cookies all the time. In this video, I'll be explaining what data is and how programmers such as you can use them to create some of these examples. If you find any value from this video, make sure to subscribe and like. Data in short terms is information, stored as numerous ways. For a programmer, these ways can be known as data types, such as chars that store one character, strings, which is basically a long string of characters, integers, which are whole numbers, and there are much more different types of data. Programmers also know some ways this data can be stored in. Let's take an array for example. Which variable stores a list of items which make up an array. Given the array name, fruits, we can guess that data type will be string, as words are best suited to represent data in this situation. How we retrieve each item from this array is by calling an array name and then the index of the item we want. Notice the first item in the array has an index of 0. However, we run into a limitation here. Let's say this program is for a market that sells fruit. Then for each fruit, you should also have all the data like price and ID to link with a particular fruit name. We still can use an array here, but now we need to nest an array within another array, and this makes things look messy and confusing. Here we can introduce another form of data storage, dictionaries. Dictionaries make it very easy to bundle and retrieve data. Take for instance a fruit example again. All we need to do is declare a variable name, then introduce curly brackets which tells Python we are creating a dictionary. Now this dictionary requires two things, a key and a value. The key is used to call the specific piece of data from the Python dictionary, and the value is what gets returned when we call the key. So let's have our key be the fruit ID and the values be fruit name, fruit price, and origin of fruit. So now we can call the dictionary just like an array, but instead of an index we feed it the key value. One last example of data storage is to use databases. These are great for large scale storage, like storing an entire user base of an application. Two common types of databases exist: relational and non-relational databases. Think relational databases as a chain of tables that store different data but are linked in some way. For example, each customer can have multiple sale orders, but each order can only have one customer. Non-relational databases are the opposite, where there are no links between each table and all kept separate. Information can be sent to a database in many ways. One common way you may have submitted data through a form. Let's take this Facebook sign up form for example. There are two methods of managing data in databases: post and get. Simply, the post sends data to the database and get retrieves the data. Using post method, we can set up a Facebook account by sending it our name, email, or phone number, password, and personal information. However, a form can be used to perform a get method. If we want to log in, we can get the relevant information from the database and then check if the login credentials are correct. One other way the internet can get data from you are cookies. These are the pop-ups you get when someone visits a website. People find cookies a nuisance, but in some places it does make the user's life much easier. Take for instance a cart system. Before cookies, if you wanted to add an item to a cart, you needed to create an account with the website, and then each cart can be user specific. However, cookies allow to store data about the user for a set amount of time, so this makes adding and storing items to a cart possible without an account. This is much better, as now you have to work with less passwords. But there are websites that abuse the use of cookies, which is completely not needed. The things such as articles do not need information about you. However, they ask for you to activate cookies, and they usually sell your data online to advertisers. This is legal, as this is as in the conditions of the cookies it says that your information gets sold to these people. The last way data can be stored is by manually. Fields such as scientific research or anything analytic do enter data manually after each test they conduct. This information can be used for many things like making predictions with the data. Doing something like this is fairly simple as it requires little forms, and it is not expected to hold millions of data pieces such as YouTube or something else. Finally, we need to know why we need the data and how you as a programmer can use them. Surprisingly, most high-paying dev jobs require the handling of data, which, don't get confused, does not mean you make the whole database from scratch and then make a form where people enter the data. Actually, that can be another developer's job, as we call the database dev. Take machine learning for example. Machine learning requires perhaps thousands of data to work accurately. For example, if you want to make a machine that distinguishes a dog from a cat, then perhaps you need to show it 200 pictures of a dog and 200 pictures of a cat, and then those data points, and using those data points, it learns which one is which. A more complex but real-world example would be when Amazon uses your data from cookies and other places to recommend certain products to you. There are much more fields you can get into with data, but I won't be mentioning those in this video. I will leave an article in the description below. You can check out to get more information. Lastly, without data, you cannot have your own personalized or identity online. Without data, how would YouTube know your favorite channels and videos to suggest to you? Data is the cornerstone of the internet. That's why programmers need to understand how to use it, and that's why consumers need to understand why we use it. Uh, if you found value from this video, do like and subscribe, and as always, my name is Tango, and I'll see you in the next one.